Are we good?
Yeah.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
Hi, I'm Tony DiBernardo. I'm a scenic designer, currently living in Brooklyn, New York. I'm 25 years old. Uh,
Where are you
I'm,
from?
I'm originally from Dallas, Texas.
And then how you got your start?
How I got my start. So I didn't do theater until I was like a junior in high school, but I did this other program. It's called Destination Imagination. It's like a kid-based problem-solving competition, and I did that my whole life. And then whenever I found theater, I just fell in love with it, and I fell in love with designing. And when I found out it was a career, I just kind of followed that ever since.
When did you start theater?
So I started theater like junior year of high school, but I really started like understanding what scenic design was probably not until my senior year of high school, and like knowing I could go to college and have a career in it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay. What was your first professional job?
So my first professional job uh, in the theater was as a carpenter for Texas Shakespeare Festival. But my first professional scenic design job was at this small kind of mom and pop theater in North Carolina called Heart Stage. Uh, it was, they hired me on for the whole summer. They were real low budget, kind of thrown together shows, but it was a lot of fun. But yeah.
Cool. When you got your career, did it meet your expectations?
Got my career.
That sounds very
Yeah,
strong.
I would say I don't know if you ever really feel like you've gotten your career. I still feel like there's a lot left to go. So I'm still, it's just the beginning really. But so far it's been everything I've hoped for, and you just going into work doing something that you like to do is I think.
I guess what were your expectations? That would be helpful.
Yeah, I don't know. I think early on it was, to be, just a great designer and design big things, but now it's more of I just want to just work on fun, interesting shows and work with cool people and do what I like to do. I think that's a good expectation to go in with.
Um. Okay, I'm gonna go off of the question list. But what are the cool people that you're working with now? Because you're working with cool stuff.
Okay, yeah, I'm working with a scenic designer named Derek McLean. Um, so right now I'm working on Moulin Rouge, which is going to Broadway this summer. I've been working on that since August, so that's been a really fun show. Also, he designed the set for the Oscars for the past, I don't know, 5 years or so. So I helped on him with that this year. So both of those projects have been really fun. But yeah, so that's what I'm currently up to.
And how many hours do you work per show?
Well, it depends. I work like a 9 to 5 day basically, but how it works as an assistant scenic designer is I get contracted through the show. So for Moulin Rouge, they contracted me for, I think it was like 40 weeks. And so I just kind of work the number of hours until the weeks are up. Um, and it's different for every show based on the scale of the show, based on, what the show needs and what Derek's contracted for. And so like I assisted another one of his other assistants was doing a show, and I did some work for him, and that was like a weekend of work. So it scales. It scales with the size of the show.
Yeah. And so you're technically freelancing on top of
Yeah, yeah,
other stuff.
yeah. So yeah, I'm always doing something else. I don't know.
Okay. How did you get seen or heard?
Um, so I cold emailed Derek. I just sent out I sent out hundreds of cold emails. Hi, my name's Tony DiBernardo. I'm moving to New York. This is some examples of my work. I would love to grab a cup of coffee with you. I I think people like to talk about what they do, and if you have a genuine interest and show, yeah, I would love to work for you, but also I would love to grab a cup of coffee with you. You'd be surprised on who would take you up on that. And you can get people's emails pretty easily. But it's more about whenever you get your first jobs, doing a really good job and connecting with those people because it's a very small industry. So, just make a name for yourself that's this person's hardworking, this person cares, and it all kind of falls in line after that.
Okay. What was your major in college, and has it helped you in this career path?
Yeah, it was scenic design. So yeah, I'm a scenic designer. Yeah.
What school did you go to?
I went to University of North. Well, I went to Stephen F. Austin State University with Jen, your teacher, I presume, and but I transferred to the University of North Carolina School of the Arts my sophomore year to major in scenic design. So yeah, I think it's paid off.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if this is on the list, but I feel like it's a good question. Like, was college worth it versus just starting out from high school or whatever?
Yeah. I would say that a lot of colleges, I don't want to take like a harsh angle on it, but a lot of colleges, you got to be careful where you go because I think that a lot of colleges aren't worth it. You got to find the right program that's, oriented to you doing work, especially as a designer or something like that. Just make sure that the program that it's doing high level work and that it's the students mainly doing it. That's I think the most important thing to look out for, because there's definitely people who graduate with degrees that aren't prepared for it. So I'd say just go in with your eyes up. I don't know if that's a phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was lucky enough the school I went to was worth it. So but I've seen people that it wasn't. Mm-hmm. So I think just be ready for that.
Am I allowed to
Yeah.
input?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
This is Hannah, by the way.
Hello. From a design perspective, yeah, I think it makes more sense that, I don't know, I feel like school is important in terms of college, depending on your starting point. Because, I started theater my last semester of senior year of high school, so I, did not have experience at all. And so going to college taught me a ton because I didn't know a lot before that. Mm-hmm. And it just gave me a really good foundation of, I don't know, shows that I worked on during school. I was able to put on my resume and stuff like that. And then that helped me get summer stocks, and it all snowballed from there, which, if I went straight from high school, not having known much, I think it does help. But, yeah, the cost is hard to weigh sometimes, too. So
it does help.
Yeah,
it does help. And you can always transfer out if you feel like the school isn't right.
True.
Like I did.
Yeah. Okay. Do you love what you do?
Yeah. I get to go, no days ever the same. Every day I go into work, I have no idea what I'm going in to do. I get to solve problems every day in a really creative way, and I get to work with my hands, and I create a lot of models. I do a lot of set models and draft and figure out. It's like a big puzzle of how do we solve this. And yeah, you get to meet cool, interesting people. So yeah, I love theater. I'll never stop doing theater, even if I pursue other things like architecture or film or anything like that. I think there'll always be a part of me that will do theater because it's just spectacular. Yeah.
What should we expect if we decide to pursue a theater as a career?
It's a lot of work. It's theater professionals are some of the hardest working people that I know, because it's, you're working, depending on what you're doing, 6-7 nights a week. The show's got to go up on this day. Everything needs to be done by this day, and it's a whole team of people that put a show together, and everybody's got to be on their A game, or if one person falls behind, then it puts everybody behind. So it's tough, but it's it's a lot of fun and it's worth it. And if that's what you're into, like it, you enjoy doing the work.
Yeah. What does your typical day look like?
My typical day now is I don't start work till 10, but I like to get in around 9:30 or 9 o'clock, and set up. Then I work from then until usually my day ends at 6, but I'll usually stick around until about 7 o'clock. Um, just I don't know. I like I said, every day is different. Some days I'm working on a model. Some days I'm drafting. Um, yeah, some days I'm doing paint elevations, or some days I'm in tech for a show. So it's really there is no typical day. It just depends on what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. How long did it take you to get where you are?
25 years. No, I don't know. Uh, I was I did a year internship right out of college that paid nothing, but I grew up a lot as a person. I learned um, a lot about just being out of the educational system for a year, a lot about life. So I think it was a working year off in a way because it was a smaller theater that didn't pay you. And then before I did this big move to New York, if I guess like this is now where I am, so I'd say like a year. I don't know,
Out of
but I
college?
mean, well, out of college, a year out of college, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, all of college and all of high school and all that.
Mm-hmm. And do you think you weren't ready to move straight to New York out of college? Or why did you do the California thing instead?
Yeah, I don't think I was ready to move straight to New York. I think there's just a lot of growing up still left to do for me.
So personally,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a
not
personal
professionally.
thing.
Yeah.
I think everyone's got to do their
Mm-hmm.
own path. But I still think there's a long this isn't the end goal. I'm still kind of on that path.
Mm-hmm.
I think because I don't want to assist forever. So I mean, this is still another step in the journey.
I'm gonna pause.
All right.